I probably mentioned last week I was going to be going live again this week, and it's not quite 10 o'clock yet, but I'd just like to get on, make sure things are set up and working and stuff. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have any guitars to give away this week, but this week's going to be a lesson, and yeah, just different things we can cover. I've had people message and say things they'd like me to cover in the lesson, and yeah, just waiting for some people to join. I think at the moment it's just me, so yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, like I mentioned last week, I was a bit run down and I caught a cough off my daughters who I'd been hanging out with. Hey Jonathan, how you doing? Hey AP. And yeah, I've actually spent a lot of the week sick. I had to have a couple of 3 days off and I was in bed, and I didn't really have quite as much time to get my words out, to prepare for today. But yeah, I didn't want to cancel, so I'm still here. Cool, yeah. So how are we all doing? Have you had a good week? You having a good weekend? So we've got a few people watching. Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit better today, but still not 100%. Still coughing my guts up a little bit, and just doing what I can to try and feel better. But unfortunately, these things do happen, don't they? Especially if you get run down, which I have. But anyway, I'm not gonna moan about it. So yeah, I'm just gonna put it on my computer as well, so I can see your comments. Let's turn these off so that you can. It's a little bit easier to read them when they're coming up. Let's see the live chat. So have you had a chance to play your guitar much lately, or? So we've got hey Noah, how you doing? Cool. Yeah, so yeah, some of the things people are asking me to cover. There was a song by Incubus. I don't know if that person's watching, but I've kind of worked it out. It isn't one I'd heard before. I do like Incubus. They're a great band, and yeah, it might be good to just have a talk about that one. There's some chords in there that might be helpful for some of you guys to know, and you might know them already, or we could do like different ways to play chords. Or is there anything you'd like me to cover, just to make sure that the people that have asked for these things are actually watching? Because otherwise, it might not be worth going over them if you guys already know what people have asked for. Hey Rick, how you doing? Cool. So yeah, it's good. Some of the people I've taught before are watching, and yeah, it's good. Glad you could tune in. Ear training, yeah. So cool. We can talk about ear training. I was thinking, because I'm actually going to do a post on my Instagram tomorrow about ear training, because it's kind of a really important part of playing the guitar or listening to music. I mean, your ears are very important, aren't they? You can't really do much without them. So you might as well get them as in tune with the music as you can. And I was thinking one of the best ways to actually start ear training is just to bar chords. Yeah, we can do bar chords. Yeah, one of the best ways to get your ears in tune is to tune your guitar without a tuner. Like nowadays, there's so many like tab sites and YouTube, and it's so easy to learn the guitar that you don't even really have to use your ears. I mean, you do, but you don't really fully engage them. And I was just thinking, people from years ago, like I remember watching a video about John Petrucci, who's the guitarist from Dream Theater, who's maybe not everyone's cup of tea, but he's an incredible player. He was saying how he used to use records and that, and loads of people I've heard say it, like people in Pink Floyd, and they said to learn their favourite songs, they used to have to keep skipping or moving the needle and keep putting it on the same bit, and it really got their ears in tune. It might have taken them like a lot longer to actually play the songs they wanted to play, but they got their ears much more in tune than people do nowadays. And it's easy to learn the guitar nowadays with tab and stuff, or easier. But unfortunately, your ears don't get as in tune as if you kind of work stuff out by ear. If that's the only way you can do it, then I was just going to say, if you tune your guitar, I don't know if you've ever tried this before, but if you use the 5th fret on each string, well, apart from the G, you try and get those notes sounding the same. So if I put them out of tune, a little bit more maybe. Can anyone tell which note is higher out of these two? Is it the first one or the second one? Which one do you think? Leave a comment and say which one you think is higher. Is it the first one or is it the second one? That's it. Well done, Jonathan. Yeah, so that is basically E string is higher, Was that the first one or the second one? They're very close, aren't they? Maybe if I made it a little bit more obvious. What do you think now? Who thinks the second one? Oh. No, it is the second one anyway. Yeah, the second one is higher. So I'm gonna, if you've never done that before, just try tuning your guitar without a tuner. That is a good way just to get your ears more in tune with music, because if all you're doing is looking at an app on your phone, I mean, they are great, but it's just gonna, you're just looking at something, aren't you, rather than actually learning, getting your ears, oh, that one's, you know, if you just get reliant on, you know, apps and stuff, then you're not going to tune your ears in. And then once you've done that, just try doing all the strings. And eventually, I mean, you've done that loads of times, you'll start knowing, you know, which is lower and which one is higher. And I do apologise, I'm not quite with it today, but like I said, I didn't want to cancel because top E rarely goes out of tune, so tune to bottom E with the top E. That's the thing, like, your strings, there is like a certain way they should be in tune, like concert pitch they call it, 440 hertz, as to be precise. But if you don't have a tuner and you know how to get the strings in tune with each other, say you're, you know, somewhere that you haven't got a tuner, you can still tune the strings in with each other, and yeah, you can still play. So don't rely on your tuner. If you get your ears in tune, and you know, it won't stop you from playing. So yeah, and then obviously you want to do more with music than just tune your guitar. You want to be able to work stuff out and know if chords are happy sounding or if chords are sad sounding or stuff like that. And yeah, so maybe just start listening to, I don't know, the one thing that gets me is how people that kind of learn guitar, a lot of them don't even really listen to a lot of music, and the ones I come across anyway, and I'm just like, I don't really know how you can want to play music without actually listening to it. For me, I had it on all the time, you know, but I'm a bit obsessed with music. So maybe I'm a little bit different, but if you try and listen to as much music as you can, that will really help tune your ears in. And it's something you can do without even a lot of effort. You know, you can just be in the car, or I even have music on cleaning my teeth and just like eating my breakfast. And I need it on all the time. I'm just addicted to music. But you don't have to be that weird about it. You can just listen to it more if you don't listen to a lot of it, and also really try and tune in to what each instrument is doing. You know, like just try and, a lot of the time, people, if they've never played before and they come for a lesson, they'll say, I've started listening to music in a totally different way. I can really hear what's going on. I can hear what the drums are doing. I can hear what the bass is doing, and until you start playing music. Can I make the video wider? It's actually, I've got it on my phone at the moment, so if I turn it round, it might make things a little bit strange, but let's try it. Orientation is locked. Oh, I can't do that, sorry. Yeah, I can't at the moment. I'll do it next time. It's still kind of new to me, all this. I've gone a bit on the wonk. It's still kind of new to me, all this technology and YouTube lives and stuff, but I'm working it out. It's going a bit better than it was the first week anyway. What kind of music do I like? No worries, just can't see your left hand. Oh, okay, no worries. Sorry, Jonathan. So yeah, hopefully that's a bit better. I'll do it the other way around next time. I think you have to set it up at the start of the video, so unfortunately I can't change it at the moment, but I'm going to do these every week, so yeah, I'll remember that for next time. Yeah, so the other thing, like when you're training your ears in, just try and work out basic tunes, like I don't know, really easy ones like Smoke on the Water and stuff. I'm sure if you've been playing a while, Smoke on the Water isn't particularly difficult for you, because this is what a lot of people start with. But yeah, if you know how to play it in one place, maybe try and learn it in another place. Do you know what I mean? So that you've got these notes. And if you're looking at your guitar and you know what the notes are on the fretboard, then maybe try and do it without looking. So you know, try and remember what that note sounds like, and then try and, oh, is that the right one? And then if you hit the wrong place, then just try and find the right one, the right fret that you're on, and the kind of the more that you do that, the more in tune your ears will become, and you'll remember kind of how it sounds, and then you'll find it on your guitar. And yeah, do you have any other questions about ear training? I was just trying to think of things to. I think once you can work out melodies and stuff, the next thing is to try and listen to chords and two notes at the same time. That's the thing that's tricky, is to try and hear two notes at the same time. So there's a harmony or a melody or some chords. Hearing one note is tricky if play an A major chord. Okay, yeah, so A major is going to be. So if we play it open, it's going to be like that. And I mean, there's loads of ways that you can play the same. So how long is everyone that's watching? How long have you all been playing? Is this kind of stuff useful, or is it stuff you've already done? I mean, if there's things we're talking about that you've already done, then it's not particularly useful. But if hey Christina, how you doing? Christine's my girlfriend. She tunes in every week, which is cool. She doesn't play guitar, but yeah, she loves music and she sings and stuff, which is cool. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I can't like emphasize how important it is to get your ears in tune for music, because it is so important that you kind of that you can listen and you can hear stuff, and I just think it's really important. Like, it helps you improvise. It helps you, because the thing is, you want to be able to know how something sounds before you actually play it. Like, if you're you know the notes that you can use and how they look on the fretboard, but if you don't actually know what's going to come out as you play it, it makes it a lot harder. But do you have any questions about ear training that I might be able to answer? 18 years ago, crikey. I'm glad they come in handy, Noah. It was great to catch up with you last year. Was it last year? I think it was, wasn't it? Like, time flies, doesn't it? But you were doing a competition, I think, at the time, and yeah, I think you got through to the next round or something, didn't you? I can't quite remember now. I do apologise. My memory's not as great as it used to be, but I've only been playing 6 months or so. How's it going, Rick? Are you still you were doing Stone Roses and stuff last time? It sounded really good. Yeah, so yeah, ear training is really cool. What else could we talk about? I think someone mentioned bar chords. Any advice on the amount of pressure to apply to the strings to get the notes? I struggle with pressing too hard. Any exercises? Yeah, so the thing, actually, there's a guy I watch who's like, he's mega advanced. He's called Rick Graham, and he's maybe not everyone's cup of tea, but I've always been interested in like how far you can take the guitar and how improvisation and all that kind of stuff. And he said about you want to apply as least amount of pressure as you can, but actually to get the note to sound. So if you can press with as little amount of effort as you can, that's the way to do it. Because the more effort you use, the more energy you're going to use, and the harder you're going to make it for yourself. There's even something that I'd never come across. I'm not saying even something, because obviously there's things I'm coming across all the time. But this seems like a thing that everyone should know. But there's this thing called a lazy index finger, and if you're not actually using this finger, they suggest like taking it off. So say the thing they were saying, and I find it quite strange because I've got used to playing it a certain way. So to then change how you do it is really kind of alien, but I think in the long run it's going to make it better. So if you're doing something like a chromatic run or something, I don't know if anyone does, instead of like leaving this finger down, they suggest like lifting it off. I don't know if you can see that. So instead of, and then when you're not using it, just lift your fingers off. And it's really weird for me because I've always just left it down. But they said like the more fingers you have on, the more tension you're going to have, the harder you're going to make it for yourself. So it seems like, I don't know, like something maybe I should have discovered years ago, and I'd have learned how to do it like that. But unfortunately, I didn't discover it till a few months ago. So it's taken me, and I haven't had loads of time to play recently because I've just been so busy with like online stuff and teaching and whatnot. Sometimes practicing isn't the easiest thing to fit in, but when I do get a chance to play, I'm trying out these different things, and always trying to my wife lifting it off. Yeah, well, I mean, maybe, but it's just all about tension. Do you know what I mean? So you might be using more effort to lift it off, but it's about tension really rather than effort in that case of it. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, if you try it with leaving your finger on, it's more tension. If that makes sense. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, just the only advice I can really say about it is just try and play with as least pressure as you can. Like you don't want to press down too hard because I mean sometimes you can press so hard that the guitar will go out of tune. Like if you can hit, like the strings will go a little bit sharp. So and also it makes your fingers hurt, and then you get like all lines in them, and I mean you get a bit of that anyway. But once your fingers toughen up and that, it kind of becomes, a little bit easier. But just try and use as little pressure as you can, just to get the strings. Just try and just play as relaxed as you can. That's another thing. Like I think, because it can be. I mean, guitar isn't the easiest thing to play, but anything worth doing isn't easy, is it? But yeah, just try and make it as easy as you can for yourself. So rather than pressing down really hard and getting all tense and all I don't know, like really trying, just try and relax and just play with ease. And the more you do it, the easier it'll become. So, but when you do stuff, just try and not think that you have to really press down really hard, and to see if you can just get them notes to ring out with as little effort as you can. Sometimes like, a good thing is just to play with one hand. Just see if you can get them notes to ring out. So I'm trying that new technique out there. And just stuff like that, so come on, sing. I can try and sing a song if you'd like me to. It was supposed to be like a guitar lesson today, but it doesn't really matter. We can cover whatever you want me to. But do you still play My Fanny Valentine? Not Fanny, sorry, My Funny Valentine. I can't get my words out. I do know a little bit of it. I'd love a coffee. Yes, please. Anyone else like a coffee? Like nice little bit of cream on top would be nice, wouldn't it? And maybe a brown sugar. Yeah, so I think someone else had asked about bar chords first, so I'll cover that before we sing any songs. Yeah, bar chords are a killer. They're kind of one of those things, once you kind of break through bar chords, you can play everything else maybe a little bit easier. But the trickiest thing is to apply the pressure on one fret and then get your other fingers down and then getting it all to ring out. Like a lot of people find, like it seems, you're getting that angle, and then as soon as you put these down, that stops that ringing out, and it can be tricky to master. But it looks like you're making a coffee for everyone, Christina. Everyone like coffee? I'm sure she'll make you a cup of tea if coffee's not your thing, or even a hot chocolate. But yeah, I mean, what's the trickiest thing about bar chords, do you find? Is it the actually putting your finger across the fret, or is it putting your other fingers on, or applying enough pressure? Or because I mean, I've been teaching for many years, and I have found that bar chords seem to be a thing that people really struggle with. Or even F. F is kind of almost like half a bar chord, isn't it? You can play F as a bar chord, but I always try and make things easier for people to start with. If you do things and you kind of do it the easiest way, then it can only make other stuff a little bit easier, can't it? So rather than playing like, I mean, you could just do, if anyone's struggling with bar chords, you could try this. I always say, like, try one note at a time. Just try one string, which is easy, and then try adding another note to it and get those to ring out. Then try 3 strings all on the same fret. Then try 4 strings all on the same fret. Get all them to ring out. Then try 5 strings. Get all those to ring out. and then try all 6. Get all those to ring out. And it might hurt your finger a little bit to start with. You might get all lines on it, and I'm sure you will, but no pain, no gain, as they say. And then maybe just try adding 1 finger. Maybe just try adding your 3rd finger and making like a power chord at the top here, and then getting all those to ring out. Maybe 1 finger you might find a little bit easier than putting all 4 on. Then maybe try like a power chord again, but with your little finger as well. So at that moment we've got 5 all the way across with our 1st finger, the 5th fret. Then we've got our 7th fret with our 3rd finger, and then we've got a little finger on the 7th fret on the D, and then we're gonna play all those, which is an A minor chord, but we can play that on any fret you like. We can make a C minor. I mean, they're a little bit easier to try the further up this way you goes. Obviously your frets are a little bit closer together, but once you're finding it okay here, try moving it around, try keeping the shape the same. By the time you get to the 1st fret, it's quite a stretch, but the more you stretch your fingers and stuff, the easier stuff's going to be anyway, so just bear that in mind. And then once you've got the A minor chord, then try putting your 3rd finger, your 2nd finger on the fret in between the other 2, and get those to ring out. Or you could even just try like a different shape altogether. Sorry, not a different shape, the same shape but on different strings. So instead of doing an A minor or an A major, just take that down. So then we're going to do a D minor, and it'll be less strings to cover. So instead of doing like all 6 strings, we're just going to be doing 5, but it's the same shape as it is for the major shape. But if we do it on the strings below, it gives us a minor chord. So that's going to be, if anyone wants to know, it's going to be 5 on the bottom string, and then 5, 5, 5, 5 on the next 4 strings. And then we're going to put our 3rd finger on the 7th fret on the D, and our little finger on the 7 on the G, and then our 2nd finger on the 6 on the B. So it gives us that shape and that sound. And then we can move that around as well. So instead of being a D minor, we can move it up to say the 9th and the 7th and the 9th frets, which gives us E minor. And just try moving it around, try keeping the shape the same once you've got it, and then trying it in different places and just seeing how you find it. Is this helping, like the person who asked about bar chords? Are you still watching? I do apologise, like I say, I'm not particularly with it today, but I hope this is all helping anyway. And I didn't want to cancel. I hate cancelling anything. I teach at a school a couple of days a week, and I had to cancel that because I just didn't feel up to it. I was really dizzy and stuff, and I thought it's better not to go in. So yeah, but I'm here today. No worries, Noah. Have you had a chance to play your guitar lately? Have you got any more competitions coming up? I think you were writing songs and stuff, weren't you? You been writing any more tunes? So teach me harmonics. What harmonic is in, like harmonics on the guitar, like that kind of thing, or what do you mean by harmonic, February? Is that what you mean? So yeah, harmonics are the easiest place to learn a harmonic, if this is what you mean, is the 12th fret. So usually when you play guitar, you put your finger in between the frets, excuse me, and press down, and it shortens the string, and it gives you this kind of sound. But there's like harmonics on the guitar, which is where you put your finger above the fret, and you just kind of, as it oscillates, that's a big word, isn't it? You just, and it gives you a different sound. And that's the best place to get them, is on the 12th fret. But you can get them, say, on the 7th fret, and it gives you a different, note. And then if you play the 5th fret, is a good place to get them. It gives you like the same note as the 12th fret, but in a different octave. Yeah, how you doing? I've been stuck on 12th fret for one whole year. Have you? Yeah, so I mean, a good way to just do it is just to kind of, I don't know if you, a lot of bands kind of, there's a song, Placebo, I don't know if they're still going, but they had a song called, what was it called? A Friend in Need is a Friend Indeed. I can't remember what it was now. It was on the radio loads when I was about 16. And I remember at the start, I think it had like harmonics in it. It was, you get like all the harmonics on each string, on each fret, sorry. Nancy Boy, is that the one? Yeah. They were quite a good band actually. Isn't it funny how like some bands are huge and then all of a sudden they just kind of disappear and I just wonder where they go. It's really odd. But yeah, anyway, that was a lot of bands will do this, like especially like rock bands and grunge bands and yeah, that kind of thing. But so there's you can do harmonics that way if that was what you meant, and you can tap harmonics like you can if you just tap 12 frets above where you are. It just gives you like it's quite a nice sound. There's like a Van Halen song called Spanish Fly, I believe, which is it's quite an old one of theirs, but Bullet for My Valentine does something, and I think so. Yeah, I mean, I haven't listened to them for years, but I think they probably do stuff like that. I'd have thought so. Is that the? Ain't Talking About Dub, great harmonics, yeah. Ain't Talking About Dub, that was a remix, wasn't it? Because you used to be a DJ, didn't you, Jonathan, if I remember? So I imagine you've played that one. It was like a drum and bass remix or something, wasn't it? But I actually really like that one as well. I think it was Apollo 440, wasn't it? It was a great riff. Oh. Something like that, anyway. No, remix the original Van Halen. Oh, that was Ain't Talking About Love. I think Ain't Talking About Dub was the remix, but yeah. So how are we doing? Is this all cool? So I had a bit of a list of things to cover. We had ear training, we've done a bit of that. Bar chords, we've done a bit of that. Someone said about how to get strings to stop ringing when you're playing. Does anyone... Apollo 440 nicked it, yeah. But sometimes remixes are cool, aren't they? There was like... Africa, I love that song. That's been covered quite a few times by, or nicked. You know, like I'm into rap music as well, and Exhibit. He's done like a version using like a sample of Africa, and then I think wasn't it Weezer a year or two ago? They covered Pine Mute's a good stop strings ringing. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Yeah. What was I saying? So yeah, who was it? Yeah, it was Weezer. I think they did a cover of Africa. It's cool, yeah. I mean, when there's great songs, sometimes people do good versions of them, and other times they're not quite so good. But it's good to like show your appreciation and cover a song and kind of put your slant on it and stuff, isn't it? So yeah, palm muting, it does help. Yeah, it can do. There's things I don't know if anyone tries these. I didn't even realise I did them until I've been playing for ages, and then I started like, let's say you're playing a power chord. And you just want the strings ringing that you're playing. I can play all these strings, and only the ones are ringing that I actually want to ring. So what I'm doing is I'm getting my finger here just to touch the very top string and kill it. I mean, it's still kind of a bit of a pitch to it, but when you play it all together, you don't really hear it. And I'm getting these strings here not to ring out as well, just by arching my finger so it just touches the strings. So then I can play all the strings and only the ones ring that I want to ring. So that's quite a cool thing you can do. I mean, some of the time you can play a power chord like with that one, and because it's an E, the open strings would work. But you've got a B and E. It's literally just that all them strings there are making a power chord. So you've got E, you've got E, you've got B, you've got E, you've got B, and you've got E. So even though I'm playing 6 strings, I'm only actually playing 2 different ones, or 2 different notes. If I was to take that back a fret and do the same thing, it would sound awful. And there's some frets, it gives you nice sounding chords. Most of these work, so there's only a couple that don't work, and you get to this one, and that doesn't sound too good. So yeah, it's just a kind of a handy technique, and there's all sorts of things you can do just to kind of, so you're doing a C chord, you don't want the top string to ring out, you use the same thing, use your 3rd finger just to kind of touch that one. Or you can use your thumb, like if you're playing an A power chord and you want to be kind of, you're rocking out a little bit with it, you could use your thumb over the top there just to hit that string, and then instead of having to worry about the strings that you're playing, which you want to make it as easy as you can for yourself. So if you're, especially if you're doing like a gig or something, you just want to move around and kind of get into the music, you don't want to be worrying about what strings you're playing in that. You want to just, you know, just make it as easy as you can. These techniques can make it really handy to be able to do. So I hope that's helping. Just swig a little bit of drink there. So yeah, someone else asked about scales. How many people know like the minor pentatonic scale? Have we all done that one? If you know about it, then type yes. Does anyone know it? Yes. 1 yes, AP. Does anyone else know it? Ish. So Jonathan knows it a bit. Noah knows it. Does anyone else know it? Yes, sir. Does anyone else want to know it? Shall I cover the minor pentatonic scale? I'm sure we did. It's a great one to do because it hasn't got quite as many notes in as other scales. I don't know if anyone knows what pent means. Or penta, I think it is. Penta. Does anyone know what penta means? There's no prizes, but if you know, it'd be great. 5, that's it, well done. Yeah, so I think it's Greek. Penta is 5 in Greek. So what it means is a 5-note scale. And yeah, 5 notes. So when you play, if you've all got your guitars, let's try this one. The best place to do it, or the most kind of common place to do it, is in A minor. Great scales as a guitarist to use are like when you're playing in A minor and E minor, a lot of the shapes are easy to play, or easier to play than other ones. So yeah, so play your 5th fret on your top string, and that's an A. Then play the 8th fret, which is a C, and that's a minor 3rd. If anyone's interested, we can talk a little about. I can't get my words out. We can talk a little bit about theory as well. And yeah, so if we go from A to C, that is called a minor 3rd. And then we're going to do D, which is like a perfect 4th from our root. Then we've got E, which is a perfect 5th. And that actually gives us a power chord. That's why it's called a 5 chord, because we're going from the root to the 5th. And then the last note is going to be G, which is a minor 7th. And then we're back to the octave. Does all that make sense, or shall I leave the theory out? I'm just trying to kind of help you guys to... Sometimes you can overcomplicate things, and I maybe shouldn't have mentioned that at all. But yeah, I'm just trying to make it make a little bit more sense. But if including the theory isn't making sense and you'd rather not hear it, then theory is good. Okay, no worries. Yeah, so what happens once you get to this note, because that's an A and an octave, we literally just go into the same pattern of notes, but in the next octave. So you've got A, C, D, E, and G. And then when you get to the next octave, or the 7th fret on the D, we've got A, C, D, E, and G. And then we get to this note here, and it's the same as this note here. So does anyone actually enjoy playing scales? Or, I mean, it's cool, but I think sometimes you learn a scale, unless you actually use it for something, it's kind of boring. I don't know, like, it's good to start with, but unless you actually learn how to use something, it's almost like useless information. I don't know if anyone's experienced that, but I think the best way to do things is to actually use things. You know, if you've learnt a scale, then use it for something, and that's it. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it is good to learn scales, but I just think you should use them for something. So try and learn a scale and then apply it to music. You know, like how many of you guys have actually learned well-known solos? Can you play like what solos can you play, or can you play solos, or do you make your own solos up? Kind of what are we, lead players or more rhythm players? It's boring until it's applied for me. Okay, cool. Yeah. So what scales do you know apart from the minor pentatonic? Has anyone done like the? Can anyone play a major scale? That's an important one to know. Okay, cool. That's a good one. Yeah. So when you're playing it solo, is it just like a group of notes, or do you kind of understand what's happening, or how does it work for you? Need to start using scales and improvisation to write my songs. Yeah. So do you find it easy to play scales and use them, or does it seem a little bit like you can't really connect the how to use a scale in a song? Or major scale is, yeah, that's the one. Yeah, it's the one from The Sound of Music. So yeah, if you've not played a major scale before, a good place to start is in C. So we can. Does anyone know the C major scale? Can't connect at the moment. Okay, yeah. So a lot of the questions people seem to find are like it's keys, and you know, like there's a song, I'm not sure what key it's in, or someone says play it in this key, and it seems to confuse a lot of people, and I get that. It's kind of just knowing kind of what scale goes with what group of chords, and it can seem quite overwhelming. But a great thing to do is to like harmonize your major scale. Has anyone done that before? Or if we just learn the scale to start with, I think some people haven't actually played the major scale. So if you've got your guitar or you haven't got your guitar, try this when you have got it. Play the 3rd fret on the A string, which is a C note. Then play open D, which is the open D string, and then play the 2nd fret, which is E. Then play the 3rd fret, which is F. Then play open G. Then play the 2nd fret on G, which is A. Then play open B, and then play the 1st fret, which is C. So it gives you C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C. Has anyone done that before? Type yes if you've done that before. Or give us a thumbs up. Because if you haven't, it'd be a good place to start. I did that with you. Okay, cool. So yeah, the way to kind of connect it is to know which chords go with which scales. And if you know the chords that are in the scale, or the chords in the key, then you can use the scales over the top. And hey Ray, how you doing? Glad you could join us. And yeah, so it's like making triads, or making like 3-note chords from your scale. And what you do is you take the 1st note, you take the 3rd note, and you take the 5th note. So the first one is going to be C, E, and G. So you're just taking alternate notes from your scale. So you play C, you miss D, you play E, and you miss F, and then you play G. So that gives us a C chord. Then we do that with the 2nd note of the scale, which is going to be D. We're going to miss E. We're going to take F, which is the next one. We're going to miss G, and we're going to take A. Which, does anyone know what chord that gives us? Let's see. We've got D, F, and A. Do we know what chord that is? I'm sure you do. Let's have a look. D, that's half right, Jonathan. It's half right. D, does anyone know the second part of it? Ooh, not major. Anyone else want to guess? D minor. Well done, Ray. It is D minor. So yeah, it gives us a minor chord. It couldn't be D major because D major uses a sharp. And when we're playing in the key of C, there's no sharps or flats. That's why it's a good place to start, because it just makes it a little bit easier to understand. It's all the white notes on the piano. So if anyone plays piano as well or has a piano, it's literally just middle C or whichever C you can find, and you just go up all the white notes until you find another C. And that's all it is. So on the keyboard or the piano, it's a lot easier to find. But yeah, on the guitar, it's a little bit harder to see, but it's the same thing. So yeah, so far we've got C major, D minor. Let's do it with the next one. So instead of starting on D, we're going to start on E. We're going to miss F. We're going to play G. We're going to miss A, and we're going to play B. So that gives us E, G, and B. Does anyone know what chord that makes? I wish I had some prizes to give away, because I could give you some prizes for the correct answers. Maybe I could give you some plectrums or something. It's not E7. It is E something, but not E7. We're not going to be using any seventh chords at the moment, just triads. So seventh chords come with like that's kind of the next process. It's not G major. Does Ray know? There might be some. I've got some picks, some free picks if you get it. AP, you're right. Yes, E minor. So if we do E, G, and B, that gives us E minor. So I'll send them pics to you, AP, along with your T-shirt. I've got the T-shirts now. I just wanted to check that they were okay first, because when I got this one designed, it wasn't quite, I don't know, I love the design, but the A hasn't come out quite how I wanted it to, so I got it redone, and I just wanted to check they were okay before I sent it to you, so I'll put the pics in there for you. And yeah, so we've got, just remember that we've got C major, D minor, E minor. It's hard to know when someone else is playing it. Yeah, no worries, it's cool, yeah. Just, I thought we'd go over it, and, you know, this something that's good to know, because it kind of makes things make a little bit more sense. So the next one is going to be F. We're going to miss G. We're going to take A. We're going to miss B. And take C. So we've got F, A, and C. Does that sound happy or sad to you? What do we think? Does it sound like happy birthday, or does it sound like every day is a school day? F major, that's it, right? That's good, Jonathan. Yeah, so that gives us F major. So what have we got so far? C major, D minor, E minor, and F major. So this is, we're harmonising the scale. This is the 4th degree. So the next one, we're going to have G. We're going to miss A, because once you get to G, you come back to the note before, because there's no H. Yeah, G. We're going to go, we're going to miss A. We're going to take B. We're going to miss C. And we're going to play D. So we've got G, B, and D. Does anyone know what chord that gives us? G, B, and D. It's very similar to the last one, so that's it, G major. I don't know, how do you guys play G when you play it? Do you use like 2 fingers at the bottom, or do you use 1? Because sometimes people have asked which one they should play, and even though you're playing 6 strings there, it's still actually only a triad. I much prefer the sound of that one. That's more Guns N' Roses. And this one I always say is like more Bob Dylan. So all you're doing there, you've got G, you've got B, you've got D, you've got G. And this note here, if you play it with 2 fingers, is a D. And if you play it with 1 finger, it becomes a B. And the last one's a G either way, so isn't 2 a sus chord. 2, what do you mean by 2, Jonathan? 2, isn't 2 a sus chord? I don't quite get what you mean, Jonathan. A sus chord is a little bit different, yeah. So a common one is like D sus4. Oh, maybe we could talk about that. Oh, right, the 2 fingers, yeah, it's not, yeah, it's literally just, you're either playing an extra 5th if you have a D. So if you've got 2 fingers, you're adding an extra 5th. Or if you have 1 finger, it's an extra 3rd. It's the same chord either way, but they just sound kind of different. Yeah, so far C, D minor, E minor, F, G. So yeah, the notes we had were G, B and D. We're going to take all those on one step further. We're going to have A, we're going to have C, and we're going to have E. Does that sound happy or sad? What do we think? Happy or sad? No worries, Ray. Have a good one. A minor, that's it. Well done, Noah. How do I decide whether to play a chord open or barred in a song? It's kind of up to you, really. I mean, kind of the vibe you're going for. Like, a lot of acoustic songs are quite nice if they're open chords. It gives you kind of a more jangly sound. A lot of people use capos, which gives you kind of the same. You know, if you're playing, you want a jangly sound, but you want to do it maybe higher up. You can play like an E minor shape, gives you know like an A minor. But if you're playing sort of rockier stuff, you might want to... Well, that's kind of up to you, really. I think that's the thing about music. You can do whatever you want with it, can't you? So that's A minor, yeah, good stuff. So the next one is a little bit different. So we had A, C and E. This time we're going to have B, we're going to miss C, we're going to take D, we're going to miss E, and we're going to take F. Does anyone know what chord that gives us? It's a little bit different to the other 2. Do you know? It's a B something. I just play what sounds nice to me, but is there... That's it, yeah, it's a diminished chord, that one, or a half diminished, because it's got a flattened 5th, so... So they're all our chords, yeah. We've got C, we've got D minor, we've got E minor, we've got F, we've got G, we've got A minor, we've got B half diminished, and then we're back to C. Is this all helping? Is this kind of stuff you've done before? Is it useful? Or yeah, the thing, I don't know, like everyone's different, but for me, I just think music is expressing yourself. I don't think there should be any rules. I mean, it's kind of a guide. You should just use theory in it as a guide. Like, if something sounds good to you, or you like doing whatever you're doing, then just do it. Who cares? Do you know what I mean? I think a lot of musicians that have been some of the greatest don't even really know what they're doing anyway. They just play with their ears and love it, and doesn't really matter. I think sometimes you can learn too much of the theory in that, and it kind of just ruins your creativity. So there's a balance. I think you should definitely know a little bit, but don't get too bogged down in it, because you'll just end up being just a plain textbook or something like that. Anyway, do you know what I'm saying? Anyway, Christine, how are we doing with those coffees? I could really murder one. I think everyone else is waiting for theirs too. Yeah, definitely, Jonathan. We could do a music quiz, definitely. I remember that lesson trying to play that finger, crippling B diminished, yeah. So what should we cover now? Is that making sense? What was other things we have? We had scales, we've had stop strings ringing, bar chords, ear training. Yeah, so I mean, does anyone use like a looper station or anything like that? Or even if you haven't got one of them, there's like a million different backing tracks and that on YouTube. If you find one that C major is the same group of notes as A minor, and lots of solos are good in minor keys rather than major keys. But either way, some stuff's major, but a lot of rock songs are kind of minor chords, and I only know as I've learned with Greg. Oh, cool. It's been a while, hasn't it, Jonathan? It'd be good to see you again sometime, dude. It's nice. I'm only listening to you. Okay, cool. Just wondered how our coffees were. Only kidding. Yeah, so a good thing to do is just to find a backing track in, say, C major, A minor, and then just try the scales over the. Try playing it over it and see how you find it. And a good thing to do is to learn other solos, learn some different techniques like bending, and just apply that to your own stuff, and see how you find it. Yeah. So it's cool. I'm getting a real dry throat. I do apologise again for not being with it. I don't feel 100%, but hopefully this stuff's still coming in handy. And yeah, cool. Is there anything else you'd like me to cover today? Like, I'm happy to talk about whatever you want to, and if there's anything else I can help you with, then just let me know. Things you wish you knew as a beginner. I mean, I don't know really. When I was younger, I wasn't interested in theory at all, and it wasn't okay, what can I speak? It wasn't until I started teaching that I thought maybe I should start learning some theory. And if you're trying to put across what you're doing to someone else and you only know how to do it by ear, it's not really that. You've got to try and explain what you're doing and do it so it makes sense. I mean, some people just play by ear and they're brilliant, and when you go to teach someone something, you need to kind of know the mechanics of it and stuff. So I thought I'd learn some theory. I did a theory grade, and it does help. But I must admit, I was more creative before I knew theory. Like when I just kind of did whatever sounded good to me, and I didn't really care how it worked. I was a lot more creative. So it's got its pros and it's got its cons, but I think it's definitely good to know a little bit of it anyway. I have so much music in my brain, but I can't seem to get it out in music. Does that make sense? Yeah, definitely, yeah. So you can hear stuff and that, but you can't quite express yourself in the way that you want to. I think it's just if you can record whatever you're doing, which I think most people can nowadays with phones, and it doesn't have to be like professional. But even on phones, like I don't know if you've got an iPhone, you can have like what's it called, GarageBand. That's amazing what you can do on there, and you can plug in microphones, you can plug in your guitar and just record your ideas. The more you express yourself, I remember Ed Sheeran. He's not everyone's cup of tea, but I love him. I think he's great, and he's really worked hard to be where he is. And he said that he used to write a song every day. I mean, not everyone's got the time to do that, but you'd be surprised how much time you have actually got. If you're in the car, you can just sing a tune and record yourself doing it, or there's loads of time you can actually do things that you don't realise you can. And if you try and be creative as much as you can, you're just going to get better, aren't you? The fact that he wrote a song every day, and now one of his songs has had like 2 billion streams on Spotify is probably no coincidence. So just keep doing what you're doing. Just keep being as creative as you can, and you can only improve, can't you? You're not going to get any worse. And yeah, just get out those ideas and see where it takes you. Just express yourself. And the hard thing is just to try and do it and be real. Not do it for I want it to sound like this, I want it to sound like that. Just do whatever comes out, and because all music is a reflection of how you're feeling. Like whatever comes out is exactly how you're feeling. So that's the brilliant thing about it, isn't it? But yeah, hi Greg. I love you guys in Indonesia. You guys rock. And I'll probably do another collaboration with Elite Bartar because he's amazing, isn't he? I've done quite a few now, and I've really enjoyed doing it. He's an incredible guitarist. Pretend to hold a pick and move like, yeah. Cool. I use FL Studio. What's FL Studio? I've not come across that. My next song is based on a recording. Yeah, I think it's just it's nice if you can record your stuff and make it sound the best you can. But if you're not in that position, most people have got phones nowadays. I'm talking to a guy at the moment in, I think he's in Africa actually, and he said he writes his own stuff. And I said, oh, you should put it out there. I'm always encouraging people to put their stuff out. And he said, oh, I can't. I need to be sponsored and stuff. And I was like, no, you don't need to be sponsored. He said, what do you mean? I said, well, you can just you can record yourself and put yourself on YouTube, put yourself on SoundCloud. You know, I know it's scary. Everyone, you know, we worry about what people think of us, and oh, if I put my stuff out there, will people like it? But the only way you're going to find out is to do it, isn't it? Just put it out there and see if they like it, and if they do, cool. And if they don't, then just, you know, keep doing it. And that person might not like what you're doing, but someone else might love it. So, and you've got to keep working at it anyway. You know, put your stuff out there, and if it isn't your best song, then just keep doing other songs. And you know, some things will be good, some things won't be so good, but cool. That's where I'm stuck. Do you use a metal plectrum, do you, Jonathan? I didn't realise. Something for me to sing. Okay, I can sing a song if you like me to. What would you like me to sing? I'm probably going to cough my guts up halfway through and all sorts, but I'll do it. I don't mind. That's all them fags I'm on. I've been smoking like, you know, 40 fags a day. I haven't smoked for years. Has anyone got any more questions about playing the guitar that they'd like me to answer if I can? I was trying them out, because you've got a red special, haven't you? I remember you showing me a picture. It's really cool. How is it? I bet it's quite a bit different to play, isn't it? A red special than kind of normal guitars. They're a little bit of a different shape, aren't they? And Brian's one's actually made out of mahogany and oak, I think. It's got like an oak fingerboard on it, which most guitars don't. So, see you later, Rick. Have a good day, buddy. Yeah, maybe I'll sing a song to finish off, and if there's anything else you guys want to... I don't have a link to my dad's guitars. He doesn't have a website or anything, but there's quite a few videos I've done with his guitars in them. So if anyone wants to have a look, then just check them out. I've got one called My New Guitar, because he's just finished making a like a hollow body that I've done a video about. So yeah, if anyone wants to check that out, I've sent you a few videos ago. So, but he doesn't have a website or anything like that. But there are Martin Booth guitars that he makes with Martin, and the website is martinboothguitars.co.uk. So if you want to check those out, there's some of my dad's work there. And yeah, I don't know if I should sing, because I'm just gonna I don't even know that Tears Don't Fall. I haven't heard it for years. I just remembered that bit. Was it? Cool, yeah. So I've been running about an hour, haven't we? So just before I go, is there anything else you would like to talk about? I'll have a bit more life in me next time. What do you feel you can sing? I'm sure you'd appreciate anything. I don't really know. I can try anything you like. Probably not anything that's too high, because I think that's when it'll start shaking things up inside and I'll start coughing. There you go. Something chilled out. Any chilled out suggestions? Holding a pick. So how do you guys hold a pick? A lot of the time I find just people will hold them like too far back, and if you hold them a little bit nearer to the end, it just gives you a bit more control. So if you hold it like here, you're more likely to drop it and, you you've got less control over it, but. Is there any riffs you'd like to play? Like, riffs are a really cool thing to learn, I think, because they're just a lot easier, aren't they? Like, does anyone know how to play any riffs? Like, Nirvana, Something in the Way, that's not too high. Isn't that... is that tuned down? Hold it the way Greg says. It's up to you. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying things that might work. You know, there's a guitarist called Steve Morse. He plays for Deep Purple, and he's incredible. And he holds it with 2 fingers and his thumb. And that, if you get any books, there's no book's going to tell you to hold it like that. I'm pretty sure, and it doesn't stop him. So just do whatever works for you. But I'm just saying things I found. You know, like if you hold it too far back, it's more likely to get stuck in the strings, and you're more likely to drop it. But if it works for you, then do it. I'm just saying how my experience, that isn't necessarily the best way, but if it works for you, then, do it. Hold it like a car key just with the tip showing out. That's it, yeah. I mean, if you're into like rock and metal and stuff, you probably like pinch harmonics and all that anyway, which you kind of need to be near the end to get them to come out anyway. So yeah. Some blues. Sappy. I don't actually know it. Who's Sappy? I don't know that one, sorry. Who's Sappy by? I want to listen to you sing Ozzy Osbourne's song Dreamer. I do know the song, I have heard it, but I haven't heard it for years. I'm just a dreamer, I dream a life away. Is it that one, I think, isn't it? But it's one of them ones that I don't even really... That's about all I know. Is it like that, isn't it? I'm just a dreamer, I dream my life away. I'm just a dreamer, I dream a better day. Status Quo, Whatever You Want, intro. I did work that out. I think we did that once, didn't we, Jonathan? I worked that out for someone, I can't remember. Pretty sure we did that, didn't we? Sappy is by Kurt Cobain. I've never heard that one. Sappy, is that the full name? Is it Sappy? I haven't come across that one, I do apologise. Whatever you want. It's something like that, isn't it? Yeah, I don't... that's Drop D, isn't it? Is it Drop D, that one? It was on my to-do list. Yeah, I'd have to work it out. I can't remember how it went now. I did play it once. I haven't got a clue now how it goes. I do apologise, but... Let's sing a song and then we'll wrap it up, because I'm probably going on a bit, aren't I? Something in the way. See if I could do that one. Something in the way, because I think that's just all the same all the way through, isn't it? Something in the way. Lyrics. Or do I... Is that in normal tuning? I think it might be, is it? I don't know. Let's have a look. To the song Behind My Head. Oh, I'm not up to it. I'm not feeling very well, but... Underneath the bridge, the top has sprung a leak, and the animals I've trapped have all become my pets, and I'm living off of grass and the drippings from the ceiling. It's okay to eat fish, 'cause they don't have any feelings. Something in the way, something in the way, yeah. Hope this is right. Underneath the bridge, the top has sprung a leak, and the animals I've trapped have all become my pets, and I'm living off of grass and the drippings from the ceiling. It's okay to eat fish, 'cause they don't have any feelings. Something in the way. See you later, Noah. Ooh, something in the way. Something in the way, yeah. Something in the way, yeah. Something like that. Cool. So yeah, I better be going actually, because you guys have been cool, but yeah, I'm gonna do my best to feel better and do another live next Sunday, and I'll be more with it, and hopefully this stuff's coming useful and whatnot. And if anyone's got any questions or anything they'd like to know about any more of what we've covered, or just send us a message and I'll get back to you. And yeah, I won't be playing the guitar behind my head today. But yeah, maybe next time. But cool, yeah, have a good day, guys, and have a good week, and I'll see you then.